Good morning, Year 5s. It is Friday once again, at the end of our second week of the last half term of Year 5, and the weather is really weird. It's really foggy, but I just stepped outside and it's not really cold. So everything's really strange today. Anyway, so on with our Friday maths. Hopefully you've been doing quite well with these percentages. You know, this is quite a key thing for 5 and 6. So look at what I do now first. We should be battering these. So 213. So we've got 200s. So that's CC. 10 and 3. Lovely. And this one here, M. That's 1,000. CCC. Oh, hang on. 3 of everything. So that's going to be 333. And this one here, we've got 2,000, so that's going to be 2,000. And remember, the 4s are always 1 before, 10 before. So that's 400, so that's going to be 100 before 500. 40 is 10 before 50. Oh, I've run out of room. 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, long number there. Mixed fraction into an improper fraction. So I've got 9 whole things and 9 pieces. So 9 times 9 is 81. So I've got 81 tiny pieces that make 9 whole things, but I've got an extra 2. So I've got 83. And this one here into a mixed fraction. So we're going to be in fifths. How many 5s into 54? Well, 10 is going to be 50, isn't it? So 10 times 5 is 50, and 4 extra. 1 more and we would have had 11. Whole things. Adding fractions here, so what have we got? Oh, we've got different denominators again today. Keep an eye out for that there you go. Keep an eye out for next week as well, because I'm going to start, sometimes they'll be different, sometimes they'll be the same. So, what can we do here? We could get 20 down to 4, because we can divide that by 5. So we could, can we do the same to the top? So if we do, we divide by 5, because 4 times 5 is 20, so, and if we divide that by 5, that makes 3. So actually, this is one of the first times where I've gone for division rather than multiplication. Now, the other thing you can do is you can just multiply this, okay? So you can multiply that and it can be 20 and 55, and then you do what you normally do, but I'm going to go for this one today. So we're working in 4s, so 11, 14. There we go. And you can also make that into a mixed fraction as well. Oh no, I want you to. So how many 4s go into that? Well, that's 3 and 2 got what? 3.5. There you go. Right. I'm sorry, I feel like I went really fast on that one, but hopefully we're getting quite good with that now. This one here, I'll tell you what, no, I'll show you the other way. That's not fair for those of you who aren't quite sure. So the other way to do it, if you wanted to multiply and make this one 20, how do you make that 20? Well, you times by 5 to make it 20. So times this by 5, which is 55. So 20, 20. So add them together, you'd get yourself 55, 65, 70, 20th. Okay. But actually, making it the smaller denominator, the bigger piece, the smaller number, makes it an easier fraction. But you get an answer. Okay, so, oh, was that off the camera? I'm sorry, guys. So, on to this one. What's the volume of the cuboid, and then what's the surface area of the shaded in bit? Well, the volume of the cuboid, we can do that. 8 times 7, 56. Times it by 4. 24. 5 times 4 is 20, 22, 224. So, 224, what are we in, centimetres cubed. But what is the surface area of this? Now remember, surface area is simply area. It's just when it's on a 3D shape, okay? So you're just finding the area. It just happens to be one face of this shape. So we've got 8 there. So what's this here? Oh, well, it's a cuboid, so we know that's going to be the same all the way down. So 8 times 4, 8, 16, 24, 32. I shouldn't have shaded in there. So this answer is going to be 32 centimetres, but it's going to be squared. There you go. Right, on to today, because I'm a little bit aware that this could be a slightly long video, but I do want to go through them with you. So, we've got some worded problems for us today with our percentages. Some of them might require, and today, the point of today is that you need to be able to flip between, oh, I can find 10% and double it, 1%, blah, 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 or, oh, right, I know what I'll do here, I'll find 1% and times it by the percentage. So, you might need to decide, which one do I want to do, okay? So, the first one we've got, I've tried to write them down simply for us. So the first one is there's 1,200 people at a football match, 54% leave at half time. So 54, you can either find, you can halve it, find 1%, times it by 4. May as well just find 1% and times it by 54. So 1%, remember, divide by 100, so it's 12. If we times it by 54, so 4, 8, 10, get rid of the 2, so 0 the hero, 4, 5, I'm out of room already here. Add it together, 8, 4 and 6, so that's not your answer, but that is 54%. So 54% is 648, but the question is how many people are left in the second half? So 648 people left, like left as in went away, but you want to know how many are still in the stadium. So you need to find the difference. So 1,200 take away 648, that's how many people went. Okay, oh, it's got zeros in it. So we're going to have to be, so 0 take away, can't do it right. Okay, hang on then. Right, set it to 1 to there, start again. Can't do that, let's move next door. There we go. So 10 take away 8 is 2, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. 1 take away 6, can't do, oh man. 11 take away 6, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So, your answer is 552. There are 552 people left in the stadium. Okay, now you can always look back at that again. I did rush through that a bit. The main thing is finding 54% and then simply taking it away from how many people there were. Next one. 12 million people viewed the X Factor final. That question hasn't aged well. If 60% voted for Little Mix, how many people voted for Marcus? Don't know who Marcus is. So, you've got 12 million here. This is also a test of whether you can do your place value up to millions, because you should be able to. So, for 60%, we don't need to do what we've done up here. 60% is very easy. We've got 50 and a 10. So 50%, well, alright, it's got loads of zeros, but let's do our zero trick we always do. We've got 12 here. So 50% is going to be 6. Put our zeros back. And then 10%, well, how do we find 10%? We divide it by 10. Obviously, our decimal's here. 10%. So it's going to be 12 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros there. So, there we go. All we need to do now is add them up. So we've got 6 million, and then we've got 1,200,000. The trick with this one is I think some of you may get confused with your millions and how many zeros you've got. The percentage itself is really easy. Can you see how everything, we've got skills coming together now? Okay, I've been doing a lot of reports, and that will come up a lot. So-and-so has got this and got this and got this. We've now got to think about putting it all together, which we want you to focus on next year, really. So, 60%, is going to equal, well, we can do this easily, can't we? 6 million and 1 million is 7 million. And then we've got the 200,000. There you go. There's your 60%. Here's what I prepared here. There we go. Next question is the James Bond one. So he saves £2 million in gold. As a reward, he gets 15% of the gold. So, 15% instantly. Don't need to be times in by the fraction. 10% and 5%. Easy peasy. So, 10%. Again, it's just lots of zeros. 2 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember the commas after every 3. And then 5%, well, that's half of 10, isn't it? So half of this one. Oh man, that was easy. So 15% is going to be 300,000. Okay, that's not a tricky one. Okay, that one should be in the bank. Posh and Bex buy a new carpet. I like this question. They have to pay a deposit of 22%. Now, some of these questions you're actually going to need some money knowledge here, because one later on is about profit. So you need to know what a deposit is. Am I taking away? Am I adding the money? Deposit is part of what you're going to pay. It's like a promise. So yes, I'm going to pay all of this, and here's part of the price. So it's like, you know, if you went to the shops and you, there was something for £1, you go, if I give you a 10% deposit, here's 10p. I promise to pay the rest. And so a deposit is kind of like a promise with money. It's an upfront cost. You have to pay that amount, and you can pay the rest off. So they've bought a car for 15,000. They need to pay 22% of it straight away. So 22%, again, it's very easy. Look, we can do 10% and double it, and 1% and double it. We don't need to go with. You can do 1% and times it by 22, and it might be that you're doing all these questions like that. That's fine if that's working for you. So 10% is going to be 1,500. So 20%, double that, or double 15 is 30. Bungy zeros on. So 3,000. 1%, 150. Oh, hang on, we can look over here, can't we? So 2% is going to be 300. So we only need to focus on these ones, really. 22%, 3,300. I bet that was faster than somebody who was trying to do 1% and times it by 22. Your answer, 3,300. Okay. You know, obviously I'm doing this quick for the video, but, you know, if your brain's thinking like this, then you're there. You've got it. I don't mind if it's taking you a bit longer than what I'm doing, but if you can start thinking, oh, how can I easily make 22%? Yes or no? That's the point of this. This one, I'm not a fan of this one, if I'm honest. I buy 10 CDs for £65, and they cost me, all of them together cost me £65. I want to take 30% back to the shop. How much money do I get back? And that's assuming all the CDs are all the same price, and it doesn't tell you that. So we need to find 10%. We need to find out how much one of these costs. Because if you're going to take 30% back, well, 30% of 10 is 3, isn't it? Okay, so you're going to take 3 back. But you need to know how many 1 costs. So you've got £65, 10 CDs. So divide 65 by 10, and you'll find what 1 is. Divide 65, so 1 equals £6.50. And remember, you want to take 3 back. And that is assuming they're all the same price. So you want 3 of those, basically. It's up to you how you do this. You can do this mentally, or you can times it by 3. It's completely up to you. But I'm going to do this mentally because I can just do 6, 12, 18 and then 3 50p's. So 6, 12, 18 and then 3 50p's. Well, 2 50p's is another £1 and 50p. So £19.50. I'm not a fan of that one. Don't worry if you looked at that and gone, I don't really know. Okay, but essentially, how much is 1 CD? How much is 30% of 10? and you need 3 of them. Okay, but don't worry too much with that one. I'm not a big fan of that. Right, the original price from what time are we on? 15. I'll go through these. Oops. The original price of the machine was £700. The shop reduced the price by 10%. Lovely. So it's reduced it by £70. So 10% is 70. But they've reduced it by £70, so I need to take it off. So take off 70, that's going to be 630. Okay, reduced it by 10%. Boom, that's a great reduction. Oh, then they cut the reduction price by 20%. So they then reduced the reduced price by another 20%. Oh, I can't just use that. I can't just double that. Because it's not 20% off of that. It's 20% off of this reduced price. Ugh. 10% is 63. So we need to take £63 off of this. Oh. Right, very quickly. No, I can't do that. 10, so 7. Can't do that. 5. 12 take away 6 is 6. Right, so 10% is 567. Right. But it's 20%. So I should have taken 126 off. Oh dear. Forgot about that. Right, so 630 take away. Now remember, 63 is 10. We want 20%. So double it. Double 3 is 6. Double 6 is 12. So 126. This is going to be what it is. Can't do that. Right, 10 take away 6 is 4. 2 take 2 is 0. 6 take 1 is 5. Right, there we go. So, the machine, after a 20% reduction of the 10% reduction, now only costs you £504. That is a bargain when you think it started on 700. Beautiful. So there's lots of little steps there. The trick with that question is they're going to want you to find 20% of that, and they know you're going to double that. You need to make sure you go to this new price and find 20% of that one. If this was a test, you know, if you got the wrong number here, but you then still find 20% of that, you'd have got a couple of marks for it. On to the last 3. I know this video is long, but it might just help some of us out. You don't need to watch all of this if you've got the answers. Just fast forward to the answers. Jim bought a car for £60. Hey? Oh, sorry, cat. I've not had my coffee this morning yet. But say a 60 quid car? Sorry, he bought a 60 quid cat. That's still cheap for a cat. Later he sold the cat. He made a 20% profit. How much does it now cost? So we need to know 20%. Profit is you make money, so it's more. So you don't take 20% off, you add 20% on. Okay? So profit is going to get bigger. So first of all, 10% and then 20%. So 10% is 6. So 20% is 12. A profit means it gets bigger. So 60 and 12 is 72. Just because it's later on in the questions doesn't mean they get harder all the time. Okay? I think the main one with that is, do you know what profit is? Next one. There are 130 people living in Albert Square. If 6% are women, how many are men? Right, so 60%, that's easy. We can do 50 and 10. So half of 13. Well, half of 12 is 6. Half of 7 is 14. So bang in the middle is 6.5. Or 65. So 65. And what's 10%? 13. So 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've got 78. So 78 are women. How many are men? Well, we'll take this off then, shall we? 130. Take away 78. Find the difference. And we'll see how many men there are. 12 take away 7 is 5. 52. 52 men. Okay? Again, really simple percentages, but you've got to understand the worded problem. What do you need to do? Am I adding 78? Am I taking off 78? But everything on the, you should, you know, everything there. That's dead simple. That's a simple calculation. That's simple. It's whether you can do it together. If you're sat there going, oh, I can't do this, That's fine. It's probably just because there's lots of things to do. But I bet on your own you could do that, all that. It's just when you combine all your maths together, which is your next step. The shop increases all its prices by 20%. Ooh. So I want to buy a hat which before the price rise was £15, and a pair of shoes which was which cost £25. How much will I spend after the price rise? Well, personally, I'd go to a different shop if it's 20% extra. So, 20%, dead easy. We can do our 10% trick. So, we're only actually going to find 10% here. So, 10% of 15 is £1.50. So 20%, double it, £3. 10% of 25 is £2.50. 20%, double it. Well, 2 2s are 4, 2.50p's is another pound, £5. Now hang on a minute, that's not a deal. I've got to pay more. So the hat is an extra £3, so 15, 16, 17, 18. So the hat is now £18. And the pair of shoes, which was 25, has gone up by 20%. Oh man, now it costs 30 quid. Expensive times. Right, I realise that's over 20 minutes, but I hope that has helped some of us. Each individual question was quick, but hopefully you've seen how to get your answers. Some of you might have even just done the 1% times it by the percentage trick. If you've got the right answers, then that works for you. But, you know, sometimes it's quicker to just think about how you can, you know, find 10%, halve it, double it, whatever you need to do like that. But thank you for this week, guys, because that was pretty, you know, that's new for us. So I hope you've done well with that, and thank you for doing it. Well done.